Hey, this is Ash Hamilton from Horror Fix. This is Night Terrors Radio. We got a special broadcast for you tonight. Not only are we doing the live broadcast, apparently we're also doing the live broadcast at a motorcycle rally, courtesy of one of our guests. We don't even have to pay for our sound bed tonight. This is what's fantastic. We've got everything happening in real time. I am joined by co-host John Gardner.
How y'all doing?
And Jim Chandler.
Hello.
This is John's second show in a row.
Well, it's been, since last November, since I was here?
Right, nothing since last November.
Right.
And then you've graced our presence twice.
You're lucky.
You know, I sort of feel like this is the thing where, so you haven't slept over in a long time, John.
Right, yeah, no.
And then suddenly you're giving me hope.
Well, I do have my footy pajamas in the trunk, so.
You're over like 2 nights in a row. Mm-hmm. You know, your toothbrush is on the sink.
Yeah.
I've got high hopes.
Yes. I've stopped using your toothbrush, so. Brought my own.
We have a great show lined up tonight. I didn't even introduce Jim. I just said Jim Chandler. To hell with you, Jim. You're here every night. Your old hat by now.
That's right.
So we have got actually 2 people from the cast of Camp Death 3 and 2D on with us tonight. I will have them introduce themselves and also introduce themselves with their part in the film so that we not only know the actor's name, but we know the part in Camp Death 3 and 2D. So let's go ahead and start with Darren. How are you doing tonight, Darren?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Where are we calling you? Where are you located tonight?
Right now I'm in London, Ontario.
Nice.
And we also have another guest, Shawn.
Hello, I'm standing on Broadway near Commercial, very busy street here in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's where you got the courtesy motorcycles at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I'm actually waiting in line to see Improv Against Humanity, so that's why I'm standing here. We do this. They do this once a month at this local theater called the Rio, and it's live sketches based on the card game Cards Against Humanity. So that's what's happening with me right now.
Huh.
Sounds like fun.
We've definitely got that real feel going on. We've got background noise, and I'm wanting to think this is definitely Shawn, and this is not happening in Darren's living room.
Sorry, say
No.
that again.
It's Shawn's on the side of the street. You know, I'm nestled cozy in a hotel room. So,
So, Darren, if you could, tell us your full name, tell us your part in Camp Death 3 and 2D, and if you could, also tell us your origin story for Camp Death 3 and 2D. What was the genesis of you becoming a part of this film?
wow. Okay. So my full name's Darren Andrichuk. I play Uncle Mel. And the whole genesis behind it, I saw an ad in Lead Actors Guide, something like that, and sounded very unique and bizarre. And so I showed up and knew a number of people there, and we all started auditioning and got narrowed down. And then it became very much like a what do you call it? It's like a master class for actors where everybody kind of works on character, does character work. And then over a 3-month period, we sort of got the characters together. Matt and Shawn brought the script out. Shawn would do fun facts. We were sitting in the room, and Shawn would do the fun facts in between the scenes. So we would read the script, and then Shawn would throw out a fun fact, and then we'd read the next scene, and then it was an amazing night, and the script itself was fabulous. It went places that no movie I've ever seen went. It was irreverent and abusive and funny as hell. And so went to Gabriel Island, filmed a bunch of it there, and then came back to Vancouver, and Matt continued filming for the next year, and another year and a half in post, and wow, yeah, that's where it's at.
Now, Shawn, let's go ahead and see exactly how you ended up becoming part of Camp Death 3 and 2D as well.
Okay, I'm Shawn Bordoff, and I played unknowingly for a long time a part that came up or was written for me by Matt called Crapsy, who's the custodian who has a brain injury, and you'll have to see his odd behavior to fully understand or grasp this character. I've been working with Matt for over 20 years. We've done a lot of projects together. We've had a lot of adventures and misadventures. And Matt had this idea of doing a parody of some of the old 80s horror films, like Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp and several others. And we rewatched them and came up with ideas. And then, like Darren was saying, we started the casting process. And Matt was actually using a lot of the casting to actually influence the script. So what people brought to the table to their characters, he incorporated that into the script. So it was a very collaborative kind of pre-production experience. And it was a bigger project than either of us have done on our own. And we didn't have very much money or any money. And like Matt did some crazy stunt to raise the money to actually get this thing started. And I went off for a holiday in Montreal and came back, and Matt tells me, "Okay, you're going to be the AD." And like, what? If anyone knows me, that's the exactly wrong role for me. I have no authority. I can't tell people what to do. I'm not someone you need to be in charge of anything. So that was a kind of a challenge that was met with some hilarity on set. Also, he told me at the same time that he wants me to do a part in the role as Crapsy, and I went, yeah, sure, what the hell. So that's how my origins happened with Camp Death 3. And I'm going to mute you so you won't hear all this background while I'm not talking.
That's the problem. We also have a new caller joining in. Matt, are you there?
I'm here. Ash, how are you?
I'm doing well. That is Matt Frame. He's the director of Camp Death 3 and 2D that is coming on with us currently.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I just called in because I couldn't hear the audio. I don't know if you the audio for Darren and for Shawn coming through on the Facebook stream or not. So I don't know if that's going through Facebook or is it going through to your board there. Are you actually being able to record their voices and whatnot?
Yeah, so for the actual podcast, we've got everybody's voice coming in through just fine. We've had some snafus with having all of this sort of come together for the Facebook Live. So,
yeah, gotcha.
So for those of you who are watching the Facebook Live, sorry. You will be able to, however, to download the podcast, and everything will be crystal clear. So the recording will be in much better shape than the live stream. Now, let's see if we can. I think we actually had someone else. We might have someone else from the cast coming in here. Let me just see. So I'm going to give the mic over to Jim. Jim's been itching to talk about Camp Death 3 and 2D tonight.
Jim!
Which Jim?
Talcum powder works good for that itch. Just saying.
How you doing, Darren? This is Matt.
I'm doing great, Matt. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
Where are you? Are you
I'm
in
London, Ontario.
Good Lord. Why? I guess
In the
because of the new gig, right?
You betcha.
Right.
Yeah, it's happening.
And are you enjoying it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Seeing parts of the country you've never seen before, I guess, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's definitely a different lifestyle, that's for sure. I've never lived so much out of hotels in my life. So.
Right. How often are you out per time? Is it like a 2-week gig, or what's the time frame?
Well, one of the things about the whole job is that I've signed an NDA, so unfortunately I'm not allowed to talk about it.
All right, I will.
Otherwise, I'd have to. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay though. But I appreciate the interest. Yeah.
Darren, I don't want to talk about the job, but I just want to ask you, how do the hotels compare to the magnificent and beautiful conference center in Sherwood Park or Ramada?
Oh my! Edmonton. It was a dream. You know what I mean? It's one of the things that you wake up from and you go, "Wow, did that just happen?" It was amazing. I mean, the best thing out of the whole thing is I got to drive around Edmonton. I've never been to Edmonton. So I got to drive around Edmonton in the snow in a rented vehicle with all-season tires on. And there was, I think, 3 inches of snow on there. So it was exciting. I think I put 500 kilometers on it. Matt and I went at one point. We end up 3/4 of the way up to Slave Lake. So the trip itself was pretty good, and sleepaway camp people were there, and the screening itself could have been done better.
This was the Dead by Con festival, Ash and folks that we had been invited to. I think that's what we're referring to.
We had an interesting conversation with John Pedipus,
right,
not too long ago. He actually told us this damning information about Jason Momoa. Damning.
He did.
Like after we had John Pedipus on, I'm like, well, forget it. Now we got to cancel Jason Momoa on the show next Wednesday.
Get him out of here. Just get him gone. Take the water away.
So the chance to elevate this production was just totally screwed by John Pedipus.
Right, there we go.
Well, John is actually a really, really nice guy, a really great guy, and I think that for the most part, the actual event, because I think it's primarily a convention, and the screening stuff was sort of an afterthought or sort of a side thing. So the actual convention itself was really well organized, and again, all the guys who were involved with it was great, but just the screening that we had was one for the history books in regards to it being a less than ideal situation.
I also love the name of the convention itself, like Dead by Con. I kind of wish it would have came up with that.
Right. Well, I was, I had these. I don't know what I was thinking. I had these images in my mind because first of all, it was at the Radisson Hotel and Convention Center, Edmonton. So in my mind, I was thinking of we have a convention center here in Vancouver, which is quite nice. It's on the water, massive sails. It's a massive complex, and that's what I was thinking. And so when we arrived, it was this sort of industrial park with sort of Blade Runner-esque type of smokestacks and oil refineries going. And I couldn't believe that was actually the location. And then when we got to it, we went into it, and the actual screening room was just like a banquet hall, like a half a bank, maybe like a place where you would go and have a buffet lunch, outside of the actual main hall. And it was a long, thin room, and it was the roof was maybe 5 or 6 feet tall, so they couldn't actually put the elevate the screen, so you couldn't see anything. And there was a sign for the actual theater that was in I don't know if it was in crayon, but it definitely was in marker and a cardboard sign. And so we lost. What made it bad was we just lost about half the audience within the first 15 minutes. And by the time we got to the end of it, we had perhaps maybe 20% of the audience had stuck around. And I guess the organizers had forgotten about us because when the movie ended, there was sort of a smattering of applause, and then the lights didn't come up. We just were all sitting in the dark for about a minute and a half. And then so Shawn sort of got up, and he went to sort of feel for the lights, and I went running to the front trying to wrangle the people. Because at that point, people were trying to get up and leaving and having their hands sort of feel the walls to make it to the exits. And so we tried our best to sort of salvage a Q&A, but it was one for the history books in regards to I think I mentioned to you before, it was like a kick in the teeth. The universe does sometimes do that to you and reminds you of where you are and where you need or what work you have to put in to be able to get to where you want to go. So it was interesting experience.
I have a question for you. How's the reaction been to?
One of the positives, though, of the trip was I got an upgrade on my car rental. So when I went to the airport, I had an economy, and they gave me a Dodge Challenger with stud tires. But I was still nervous about driving in the snow because it's been many years. So I was probably going about 20 miles an hour in the right lane, and cars are honking and passing by, and Matt's cowering in the passenger seat oh my God, what is this guy doing? It took me about
the upgrade was great. The upgrade was probably the highlight of the trip, I think. The Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, well, it had Smart Play, so you can do everything on the display and control all the phone stuff. And it was a nice car.
I feel like at intervals we need Shawn to give us traffic updates.
Where are you calling from, Shawn? It sounds like you're inside of a washing machine or something. Where are you?
He's out on a street corner.
He's got to make money somehow.
I think we just killed everything.
No. Sorry about that. I'm actually at that moment getting my hand stamped to go into the Rio for Improv Against Humanity. So I'm standing on Broadway talking to you, and there's like tons of traffic. So it's kind of loud. So I'm muting myself when I don't have to speak. And that was kind of a difficult moment because he was asking to see my ticket, which is on my phone. And yeah, whatever.
It sounds like you're calling in from the space station or something, man.
Well, I'm using my headset, my headphones, so trying to get it as clear as possible. But maybe it'll be better in about 5 minutes when they let me into the theater.
Okay.
Now, how many actual screenings have you been to, Darren?
How many have I been to?
Yeah.
Just 2, I would believe. The one in Vancouver and the one in Edmonton. But I've seen the film many, many times, but I've actually not made it to many of the screenings because they're a lot of them are out of town or in the States or yeah.
Now, what has been one of your favorite reactions? Even if it's just that moment where you looked at somebody's face and you thought either they're laughing to an extent where they might shit a little bit, just a dollop, or they look at you with just a look of utmost hate.
Oh no, I get that all the time. There's actually one reaction. We were at Dead by Con, and we were up chatting at the end of it, and I remember looking at the faces of the people that had stayed, and they actually seemed to enjoy it to quite an extent, and the smiles were. I mean, it sort of just embeds itself in your brain. And I remember one question somebody asked. They said, "How did you not laugh during that?" And the smiles on their faces told me that at some point we had tickled their funny bone. You know what I mean? From the back of the theater, we could feel us tickling their funny bone. And to me, that's the whole reason to do this thing, because some people get it and some people don't. and anything worthwhile, you're going to appeal to some and you're not going to appeal to others. So, I'm glad I went, because that image of those smiling faces, that's gold for sure.
I remember I got to relate a personal experience of mine, because this is basically free therapy for me, guys.
Oh, good.
I remember in my youth I was in a band, a sort of a progressive alternative rock band, and we were doing a few shows, not too local, hour and a half to 2.5 hours away, and I remember getting in on a conversation about how badly I suck, but they had never met me, so it was just all hearsay. Where they were like, "Oh, but the singer of this one band, holy shit!" And I mean, they were just railing me. But it got to a point where I realized I had one of two things I could do. I could cry, and I was a little too old for that, at least publicly.
Yeah.
Although I would later.
A lot.
Or I could start talking about myself as if I was another person, and then hopefully they would all see me on stage later and go, "That guy was talking about himself." Horribly. I chose the latter.
Yeah, it's fun.
Technically, I chose both, but at the time, I chose the latter, and sort of just goaded them into it. I'm like, yeah, what? That guy's an asshole too. Like, not only can he not sing, he's a bad person.
Dick.
I just really laid it on thick. He has no dick. I have confirmation from the dick detective that I hired that he has absolutely no penis.
Private dick.
It was right, but yeah. So
and you know what? That is therapy, and it's freeing, because you don't have to live up to anything. You're not trying to change the world. You're just showing up, being a really bad singer that's a dick.
Well, they thought they were getting like 2 hours of Hitler by the time I was through with myself.
Wow, you're gonna love that.
Well, the name of the band is actually Tiny Mustache. So when we finally get done with the show, somebody was like, "Hey, I know what you did," and I'm like, "So does everybody here, you fucking idiot." It was obvious.
Yeah.
I caught you guys
That's
talking
your own
about me. I
kind
had to
of-
do something about it. But yeah,
That's your own
there's
kind of
those.
apology, I think.
Well, I owed a lot of people an apology for the 5 years I was in that band. It took me a while to realize these weren't suggestions; they were actual reviews. You need to quit.
There you go.
But yeah,
And
I
you,
mean, we
and
can.
you didn't.
And no, I didn't.
And you shouldn't. Why should you? Because somebody tells you to quit. Why should you?
I provided so much worthwhile conversation for people that hated me that I felt it was a disservice for me to give up.
Absolutely.
It's sad that that's the only reason I persevere now. It's to talk bad about myself in little clandestine groups. But so one thing that I've noticed, I've watched the movie enough where it's almost like no longer a movie. You know, it's like I'm watching like a 2-hour long episode of like Cops.
It's very realistic, for sure.
It totally is, and I'm almost expecting something different to happen. It hasn't yet, and I'll let you know when it does. But out of everyone that we've spoke to, strangely enough, you are almost the antipode of your character, Darren.
Oh, well, thank you. I think I'm not sure what antipode means, but I'm sure it's not derogatory.
Not yet.
Okay, give it time.
857 CST.
I think we all have like a little Uncle Mel in us that wants to come out but is too embarrassed or not brave or not strong enough.
Men are getting kicked in the teeth these days, man. Nobody wants an Uncle Mel these days, man. Like, you know,
being Mel is bad enough.
Yeah.
You know, throw the familiar territory on there and you're screwed. So now I found that very interesting. There's a little bit of Mel in everyone, which has some sinister implications, but also, so what
just the people I've been with.
And in the winter, there could be a lot of Mel in somebody.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went right there. So Darren, tell me this: what did you channel for Uncle Mel?
What did I channel? Well,
I mean, was there someone this was loosely based on, and please God, tell me it was?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been. This is the character that I've wanted to play since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I'm very much in that testosterone-induced, aggressive, swearing kind of attitude. I like it. It's fun. Jim Belushi did a show on TV a long time ago. I think it was called Living with Jim or something. And he has that sort of redneck kind of thing. Jack Nicholson, the Joker, Beetlejuice. You know, all these guys that are the anti-heroes, the guys that are nasty and mean-spirited, but you know there's something about them, and you sort of just don't know what it is, but maybe it's you want to be able to live through them and say what he says, but you can't do it because it's not polite society to be able to do that, right? And everybody has that and like Shawn was saying, everybody has that sense of I don't want to obey the rules of the world, you know. I just want to live loud and free and do what I want to do, and that's sort of what Mel was doing. And then you add the victim on top of that, and everybody knows a victim, right? I play victim all the time, and it's so cool because it gives you an opportunity not to succeed. So, and the whole world is about
I feel like you could have been in my band with me, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think the thing is that we're so headstrong on succeed and follow the rules and be nice and all that kind of stuff that I think 3/4 of the world gets lost, you know, because not everybody's like that, you know. I don't know. I prefer people that are honest and upfront and in my face to somebody that slides me behind my back. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Absolutely. If I know where you're coming from, you know, you're much easier to deal with. So.
Now, I almost see Uncle Mel as a very Americanized version of an already Americanized character. And I think we see that often.
I can see that.
Here in the States. It's almost like I can't believe that Uncle Mel is a Canadian character.
Well, you know, we have some people in
with the
Surrey.
utmost respect as well.
Yeah. We have some people in Surrey that you know, Uncle Mel is just a run-of-the-mill guy. So there's lots of Canadians that are like him. Americans just boast about it more. We're just very much more quiet about it. You know, we just
Right.
we'll just destroy your car and fuck you up. You know, we won't brag about it. We'll just do it.
We tend to televise our dirty secrets.
Yeah.
Yes,
A little
you do.
more. There's a little too much pride in ours.
Yeah.
Now, are you still with us, Shawn? Let's see if Shawn has an opportunity to unmute.
I think he's halfway through the show. So
He could possibly be.
No, I'm taking mute off. I'm just in the theater, which I thought would be better, but there's just lots of loud music here, so it's
He's
really
broadcasting
not
from the base of Niagara Falls right now, actually.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's
better. Can you hear me
overrated.
at all? I don't know if you can
Now,
even
is
hear
that
me.
the airport by Niagara Falls, Shawn?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's I'm going over the falls in a bucket right now. So, yeah.
Now, I've been waiting to actually.
Hand me down drug dealers, hand me down rock, hand me down sweet pop, and good fella rich niggas.
I feel like we have hit the apex of tonight's show.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mute again.
I love the fact that Shawn Bordoff has his own theme music. I imagine a long stride as you're walking down that street, Shawn.
Like Shaft.
Are you pulling the finger guns out of their holsters? Giving some people some pistol winks?
No, I'm actually inside now. Like I'm in a theater, but they're playing like rap music before the show, I guess, to warm people up. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they didn't play it loud.
Yeah.
Now,
Let me try
I've been
without
waiting.
my headphones. I'm gonna try that, just holding it. Let's see if that's better.
I've been waiting, Shawn, for you to actually describe.
Can you hear me better now? Is
to
that
us.
is that an improvement?
That's an improvement.
It is an improvement, yes.
Yes or no? I don't hear anything now. Hello.
Hello.
Nothing, Shawn?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh God. I think I'm off on this.
And this is why we need
Good,
Shawn
good.
as a
I'm just on a
roving
conference
reporter.
call. Oh, okay. Like doing a radio interview. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Thanks.
Is he signing autographs? Is that what he's doing?
He should. He should be.
I can hear you guys, sort of. I don't know.
So Matt, describe Shawn's character to us.
Shawn's character in Camp Death. He's retarded. Really, that's his main attribute. The backstory is that he's Mel's half brother, and I think he was born with some sort of defect, obviously a massive defect, and so he's just he's a simpleton, and big thing with him is his knock jokes, which we didn't actually incorporate that much. He still doesn't understand the concept of knock jokes. He just thinks you say knock all the time, and that's funny. He doesn't actually come up with a response. And the other thing is he has an affection for small appliances, and he will be molesting them on a daily basis. He probably has 3 or 4 sexual encounters per day with a small appliance, air conditioner, or a small dishwasher, that kind of thing. And so that's why Uncle Mel has to chain him to the tree all the time to sort of stop him from humping these appliances on the grounds of the camp.
And I was going to ask Shawn if he had to do did he do some Native American ritual where he asked permission beforehand? Was this something where we had to make it consensual? How exactly did the relationships work for Shawn for it to be so realistic?
You'd have to ask him. I don't know. Shawn, are you there? because I mean he was really into the character. I mean, I have to say that one of the only times I enjoyed being on set was watching him and Darren as Uncle Mel fighting over the weed whacker. For me, that was like this pure joy to watch that.
Yeah, that was gold. That was a golden scene, man. That was fun.
I mean, there were times where he got that faraway look in his eye, and I'm like, that's not acting. Or it's the best acting I've ever seen.
He's pulling that from something he knows.
Well, as you can tell, Shawn is a very unique person, and so I mean, obviously he is not Crapsy, but he's not really that far removed from Crapsy. Maybe a couple of head injuries, but he is definitely a very unique individual. So it was not hard for him, I think, to kind of get into that mode of just thinking about sex with appliances and weed whacking.
I say twinkle in the eye, and I'm not even close to what I saw. More like an ocean of stars. Unbridled affection.
Well, the amazing thing about filming with Crapsy was that that was all done on the island, and unlike everybody else, it was all done in one take essentially. We do 2 or 3 takes of everybody else, but everything we did with Crapsy, other than the fighting over the weed whacker, because I kept laughing and ruining the take because I was just laughing so loudly in the background. But with Shawn, he just nailed the character like nobody's business. Oh,
Like a
we got
second
a
skin.
message here from Shawn saying, sorry, it was just too loud here. So I guess Shawn is off the call.
The fact that we got spontaneous rap music out of Shawn, I feel like his contribution will not go unnoticed.
No, I mean that's exactly who he is too. He's a very, very unique guy. Like I guess he found out that the interview was sort of corresponding with the show he wants to go to. It's a monthly show, like an improv show. And so I think he was really conflicted as to how he could do both. And so he just figured that he could easily do both, and that's not really how it worked out. But yeah, that's this classic Shawn.
Now, it's always interesting seeing people, especially, and I think with Camp Death, because of the fact the movie is so over the top, that when we do finally see some of the personalities, although Dave Piniuk, I think, is the closest to his actual screen counterpart that we've had so far on the show.
Yeah. I mean, Dave definitely has that sort of upbeat kind of, I don't know, a bit of a Mormon feel to it, like a really, really super nice guy, kind of almost a Mormon-esque type of thing.
Right,
So
yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of pamphlets to hand out, but like there's an extremely perverse joke in there somewhere. If you could just coax him into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need to coax them. It's just there.
Right. Now, as far as some of we haven't really had a chance to, I think we've actually got someone else coming on. We have a new cast member?
Cynthia, I think. It would be Cynthia.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, it's Gerald.
Hey, it's Gerald.
Yeah, hello.
That's the Ash. That is the severed head of Mrs. Van Dam.
Well, I'm
And
also
I
a
will
human
say it's
being.
about time, Matt.
About damn time.
You know when you feel like you're only 3/4 of a party?
Yeah. The party has arrived now. Absolutely.
And we thank you, Gerald.
Hey, you're welcome. No problem. I wish I could fly into your studio right now. That would be great.
There's a faint smell of cheese in here, and I'm not for sure exactly where it's coming from.
That's
bad.
my.
Can anyone-
That's me. That's me.
It's like, but it smells like expensive cheese.
Again, yeah. I've good taste.
Now, granted, I do have some like circa 70s and 80s toys and stuff somewhere back in here that might still have pieces of their former owners.
Yeah, when he says toys, he means normal toys.
Oh no! Yes, normal toys, normal toys. Like
You just can't go with cheese and then into toys. You just,
Like at some point we'll have to do a video walkthrough of the studio because I'm staring at not one but two Castle Grayskulls because for whatever reason I decided that since one is hidden behind a monitor, I need to have one fully in view. It's the only way I can appreciate the ambiance that I have created here. So, Gerald,
Hey,
now where are you calling us from?
I'm in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada.
Are you inside?
I'm in the house. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I just wanted to say something cryptic like that. Are you inside?
I'm inside the house.
Right.
In your house.
Do you have a bathtub? Do you have a doorway you can get into?
There's no rap show going on.
Right.
House party.
Are we going to have any kind of spontaneous freestyling?
Freestyling.
He has no idea.
I've never been known to freestyle. No, never been known to do it.
Hey, Gerald, he's making like a direct reference to Shawn. Shawn was calling in, but he was trying to kill two birds with one stone, and he was sort of doing the interview on the bus and outside the Rio Theater and inside the Rio Theater. So there was these massive bursts of like random rap music, and it was just a clusterfuck. So that's what he's referring to.
Hilarious. I thought you were like talking about like Shawn like doing freestyle, and I just could not see that. I just could not see Shawn break it into into a rap. Like
it did add such a layer to our narrative tonight, though.
It did.
I must add.
Well, the Rio is a wild and crazy place.
So, Gerald,
Awesome.
did you ever think in your lifetime that you would get the opportunity to possibly be recognized for your contribution, and then to be able to say, "Well, you may recognize me. I am the flying head from Camp Death 3 and 2D."
Well, I would say I definitely thought so. Yeah, I could. I mean, the thing is, I mean,
More of
like,
an ambition.
I don't know if you know, Ash, but the character that I'm playing is basically, I think I'm credited in the movie as Gerald Geraldson. So I played this character. Now, the version of the character that you see of Mrs. Van Damme in Camp Death is much different than the actual Gerald Geraldson, but it is the same face, the same creepy face. Matt has the voice altered as well, of course. He's got it kind of turned up. He turned the pitch up on it. But the thing is, I made my own movie as well about Gerald Geraldson, and it's out now. So I've got a film as well. So I kind of knew people would recognize Gerald Geraldson. But it's great that they're recognizing him in Camp Death, because Camp Death 3 and 2D is awesome and hilarious.
The word coming to mind here is legacy, gentlemen.
Legacy, that's right. And there's definitely a legacy to be left there. But that's a different legacy for Gerald. So I hope people also check me out in my movie. But in that film, it is awesome. Hopefully there'll be some crossover between the two films. That would be cool.
What is your film called?
Yeah, his film just came out this past weekend, and actually Darren is in it as well. Darren plays a detective in that, right, Darren?
That's true. Yep. It's really good. If you get a chance, POV Horror is just watched it today, and Gerald's made some upgrades on it, and man, it's quite a ride. It's awesome.
Thanks, and thank you.
You should definitely send the link our way, Gerald.
Ash, I'd love for you to watch it. It'd be great. And I don't want to talk about the movie much because I know I'm here to talk about Camp Death, but I want people to go see my movie Murder Box, starring Gerald Geraldson, and you can watch it on POV Horror, and you can there's a free trial if you go to the website. You can do like a free trial on it for like 7 days and check it out. You can visit Found Footage Critics, sign up for their POV Horror. What is it? It's a POV Horror. Just sign up with Found Footage Critics. Sign up, and you can get I think discounts on POV Horror as well. So, yeah, cool.
I feel like we've almost created our own Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Let's get back into Camp Death. That's why I'm here. I did have to plug it though.
So, well, and Gerald, we want to talk to you for a second about your journey, because that's a thing that we always talk about Camp Death 3 and 2D because of just the kind of film as it is. I mean, there's not a lot of subtlety to Camp Death 3. So we always tend to talk.
What the fuck?
So we always tend, again, not a lot of subtlety to Camp Death 3. But we tend to talk about the journey of each individual participant. And I almost want to say participant. Like, I like saying actor, but with Camp Death 3 and 2D, I think, is participant accurate? Can we say that? Does that sound right? Does it feel right?
I definitely participated in the film, so I would agree with you. I did participate. And my acting was more participation than acting. It really was, because most of the time, because the dialogue is so wacky, right? It's so wacky. and I think I got the script a couple days before Matt had me come and film it. And I could hardly remember any of my lines. I was, so unprofessional. I could not grasp these lines because there's no real through line. It's just craziness, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's just insanity. Like how do you put the thoughts together? But fortunately, Matt would feed me my lines, and he would kind of almost act out like what I was supposed to do. He's like, "No, do this, do it like this." And I'd be like, "Okay," and let's just get it done. So I would just do what he wanted me to do, and I really like the way it turned out. I do. I love the severed head flying through the air. I like the way he did it, like with the way he did the effects on the green screen and with the helicopter blade and all that. Like I really enjoy it. I get a kick out of it. It's awesome.
I just love the fact that we deduced your acting methodology to married sex. Oh, let's just do it and get it done.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, I was enthusiastic to do it, but I found it stressful because normally I'm very prepared as an actor and I know my lines. But I was kind of embarrassed. I just felt a little unprofessional, so I just kind of let Matt guide me through it. I really like the way it turned out.
Well, I think one thing that can be said is the fact that this is obviously an experience. It's an experience film, and I know I'm sort of digressing and actually being serious for a moment, which we'll make sure that we get past this quickly. But it is. It's an experience film, and being part of an experience film, I would have to say is, it's got to be something that you guys are going to take with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Come on. Let's be realistic here.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
It's
Hi.
Cynthia.
Hey.
Hey.
Another player has joined.
Sounds like Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
It's Katherine, actually.
That's Katherine.
Oh,
there we
Catherine.
go. Oh my God.
What?
How
It's
are you?
Verda.
How are ya?
It says Cynthia.
I'm good. I'm just trying to figure out my Bluetooth situation.
I thought you had a date, Catherine.
Is this live?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of live.
We're recording it now. It was live, and then we had some audio issues. We've got so much going on here.
Okay.
At some point, if you hear about a major brownout in the Midwest, it's because of what we're trying to accomplish tonight.
It's because of Camp Death 3 in 2D.
But that
Oh my
is,
goodness.
but that is great publicity.
Mm-hmm. Brown it out, buddy. Brown it out.
Well, don't let me interrupt. Continue on whatever subject you were discussing, and I'll chime in.
I just want to say that if I had a nickel for every time I heard "brown it out, buddy, brown it out,"
Yeah. I said it last night.
I'd at
that's
least
the
have
thing.
15 cents.
So how was the date?
So, Catherine, I think we have some actual interest in your date. What did you say, John? Go ahead.
Yeah, how was the date?
Oh, right.
So who was the guy, and what happened? Did he not show up, or did you stiff him, or what happened? Not stiff
crawl
him,
out the
but did you
bathroom
like?
window?
Oh,
No, that's not what I
Did you
meant.
stiff- that's a zinger.
She's on the date.
No, he actually was being very understanding. He went out to go buy some wine, and I'm now on my phone. So he was very understanding of the situation. Yeah.
So you guys,
Yeah.
where's the location? You guys at a park someplace having wine outside, or what's happening?
You had a rock concert?
Oh, we were at a park, actually. Funny you should say that. But now, no, I can't believe this is crazy. This is so personal, but I'm just going to make it sincere.
Is it like a first date, or is this like somebody being? Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Is this like the first date, or what's happening?
It's not the first date. Sorry, I'm just washing my hands. It's like
Lord.
maybe like the second or third time we've met now.
Is he an actor as well?
No.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I could.
Yeah,
Be
you
an actor.
need like a regular kind of stable kind of guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call what he does stable because he's also like a server, but not an actor is a good thing.
Right.
I
Fantastic.
feel like this has made such an interesting turn. So Catherine, is your date coming back? Not meaning like did he run, but
He's like, I gotta go get some wine.
Yeah, I
Did
mean,
he
he's
bring
just
wine for
going
everybody?
down to the liquor store to buy us a bottle of wine for dinner. That's his escape from this situation, which he has no idea that now he's being discussed in an interview. So I'm glad that he is gone.
Is it a local liquor store?
I think it's like a private attached to a bar. Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
And he's getting
okay.
us
So
red
he
wine.
might be coming back.
So are you coming in from
I think he's coming back. I hope he's coming back because I have a lot of
course.
food. So.
So if it's red wine, are you guys having like a darker meat? Are you not having chicken, or what's for dinner?
No, actually, we're going completely against the rules. It's roasted vegetables and rice and avocado. It's like a Buddha bowl essentially. I just don't really like white wine, to be honest.
Oh, gotcha.
Hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if you guys can actually hear Jim.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Jim, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I don't hear anything from Jim.
Nobody can hear Jim.
Can't hear anything from Jim.
Okay.
That's
I hear
interesting,
nothing.
John.
Yeah. Yeah.
See if they can hear you, John.
Yeah, they can hear me, right?
John. No,
Yeah.
don't hear anything.
Like a very distant echo in the
Hey,
background.
Jim, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Jim. Well, at least me and Jim can hear each
So,
other.
Catherine, I was just discussing with Ash and John and folks about our experience in Edmonton. The
Yes.
the incredibly successful screening we had at Camp Death, where we lost 75% of the audience, and then we were left in the dark afterwards. I guess they had forgotten about us, the MC.
Hey, is that where you met the Terrifier guy? You met him there, didn't you?
Yeah, I met him in the elevator. I was like, "Hey, you're the clown guy." He's like, "Yeah, I am." Nice
Art.
guy. Yeah,
The
I get that
clown.
a lot.
Art the clown.
Yeah, you're a
Super
clown.
nice guy. Yeah.
I
Cool.
used to get that, and then I got married.
And David is a really nice guy. He actually is. We've had him on before, and he's just a real sweetheart. Can I say this sweetheart
Sure.
for the Terrifier clown guy?
I think
Yeah, he was like really very kind and sort of kind and dorky at the same time, but kind of just a sweetheart. Yeah, for sure.
Who is this guy?
He plays Art the Clown in a movie called Terrifier. You probably would have seen some of the masks that they were selling. He's becoming a pretty well known sort of figure in the horror world.
Okay.
Hey Ash, it was funny when at the end of the weekend, this less than stellar weekend, when I said goodbye to Catherine at the airport, I was trying my best to be positive about it. I put a spin on it. And I said, "Oh, thanks for coming out, Catherine, blah, 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 And don't you worry, Catherine. This will be worth it. Camp Death will do well." And she kind of looked at me with this half smile and went, "Okay, thanks, bye." Walked off. And I was like, "Oh, God damn it."
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
You had every right. It was a fucking disaster. It was. Again, John was a great guy and it was well organized, but in regards to it being a screening, it was an utter fucking failure.
Yeah, was the sound really bad, or was it like I couldn't see much because the seats weren't layered at all, right? And the projector was like it kept moving slightly to the left.
Do you remember that? You know what it was, Ash? What happened was we had a walkout. Somebody stood up from the front row to walk out because they hated the movie, and they bumped the projector. So half the time the movie was askew at an angle. So then I had to run off and try to find the organizer of the event, and I couldn't find him anywhere. And it was.
I do remember that. I remember being like, Matt, we're losing a foot of the screen. Can you see how it's off? Yeah, and then you had to go off and find this gentleman who you didn't find because he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, they were out smoking pot or something. They forgot all about us. It was just a disaster.
I don't know why they would be outside because it was so freaking cold. Oh my goodness. But poor Edmontonians.
So Matt, we have got to talk just briefly about. Can we talk about what you've got in store here for the immediate future?
Sure, if you like, yeah.
Because you've got something pretty special planned.
Let's hear it.
Well, yes, special being the optimal word there. It's very much a special thing I'm doing. When we first started, actually it was 5 years ago in August, in order to be able to fund the movie, I did this sort of 24-hour nonstop walk around the local high school. I think I told you about that. And had to go through the cheerleaders during the high school football game, and I had a coconut chained to my waist to be able to kind of get attention, and that actually raised like $16,000, which allowed us to make a movie. So now that everything's done and the film's out, we've gone through our festival run and everything else, It's time for me to put this behind me. But the problem being is that, like, I don't know, nobody. Well, the truth is nobody really gives a shit about the movie at this point. Our numbers are bad, DVD sales are shit. Like, nobody cares, and so I knowing what's going on with the drawers. What is that?
I'm so sorry. I'm cooking. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I thought it was a lamp in the background.
No, I'm so sorry.
All right, no worries.
I thought somebody finally brought the DJ equipment to accompany the rap group. Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm really, really proud of the movie. I love the movie, and I'm really proud of the fact that we've done everything right, except that nobody cares and nobody likes it at this point. And so
Really?
I think the numbers aren't where I want them to be. I'm not
I
satisfied.
thought the numbers were good though, because
They
I
were good
remember
the first month.
you put
Yeah,
on
they-
Facebook.
Yeah,
you had like 150,000 streamed minutes in the first month. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's completely bottomed out now. I think we're probably doing a third of that, unfortunately, and so I just feel, I feel like I for my own mental health, I need to do something to sort of send it off into the distance. So I'm going from Seattle to someplace around Chicago. I won't say the actual destination because I'm keeping that secret. But I'm going from Seattle to Chicago area, which is about 2,100 miles or like 3,500 kilometers. And I'm riding an adult tricycle, and I'm going to be bringing out the coconut again and chaining that to my waist. It'll take me about 37 or 38 days. And I'm going to be doing sort of vlogs along the way every day. I'll do an update of the day and whatnot, and also I'll be talking about the movie and the the making of it and everything, all the weirdness and craziness that went on during the making of it, and just as a way to be able to try to scrounge up a little bit more interest before I turn my back on it for good. So yeah, I'm doing that I'm actually pushing it back till August now. So I'm going to be starting that probably in the first couple of weeks of August, and it'll take me about 6 weeks to do the whole thing.
When
Question.
did you announce that you were going to do this? I haven't heard anything about that.
I haven't announced yet. No, I didn't announce.
Oh, you just
I told
announced
that.
it. Wow.
Yeah, well, I guess I just did. Yeah.
Crazy. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And-
Well, I
and-
mean,
Quick question.
Why are you
Is it the
keeping
same
the?
coconut?
What's that? It's the same coconut from before. I actually have that still. So yeah. My only concern
Okay,
is getting.
no. Sorry.
Yeah, my only concern is getting across the border, because crossing the border with, being who I am and the adult tricycle, and it's a shitty old $150 adult tricycle that's all rusty, and crossing the border with that and with a big basket in the back with all my peanut butter and everything else, and also having a coconut chain on my waist, I'm kind of worried that the border guards are gonna shoot me dead. But if I can get past the border, then I think I'll be okay.
Is that a Canadian coconut?
I mean,
Are you suggesting
Actually,
coconuts
I
migrate?
saw Katherine about a week and a half ago. We were actually at Darren's movie. Darren has another movie that just came out called Beyond the Line.
Beyond the Line.
Yeah. Fantastic film. So we met there, just saw each other randomly, and I told Katherine about the trip then, this new coconut thing, and we're in sitting down, and the lights are down. And I kind of explain it, and she said, "Oh my God, you're gonna die!"
I did not sound like that.
Well, that's how you kind of sounded, but you said I was gonna die, and I was like, wow, that's not great. So yeah.
I was like, how are you gonna feed yourself? Was my main question, because I just imagined you on like deserted highway and like alone at night, like.
No, I'm
crazy.
going to be on the I-90 the entire time, which sounds dangerous, but it's actually a lot safer, because on the, you think that the old highways or the side roads and whatnot would be safer, but they're single lanes and they have no shoulder, and so people are going to have to kind of go around you and whatnot. Whereas on the highway, you have 2 or 3 wide lanes, and you have sort of this trough. I don't even know what it is. It's sort of like a jutted trough where I guess if you're falling asleep at the wheel, your car would kind of go over that, and then they have the shoulder, and so I'll be on the shoulder, and it's on the highway, so there'll be like convenience stores, and I'll be eating my peanuts and whatnot, and it's totally normal. People do this all the time, Katherine.
You've seen Easy Rider, right?
Sure.
We do this all the time.
Have you
I
seen
have,
Easy
yeah.
Rider? Yeah. Okay.
No,
Keep that in mind.
I should wear that
Sorry,
helmet.
sorry.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind as you're riding across Montana.
Yeah, I think the only danger would be, a semi truck losing a tire, a blowout, and me being sort of hit by sort of errant rubber. I think that would kill me. But other than that, I think I'll be fine.
Rednecks.
Yeah.
The rednecks probably are the biggest threat.
To a tricycle driving
We have
human
rednecks in
adult
state.
male riding through the prairies.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll band around you and form like this band of brothers that will see you to your destination and will I don't know. It sounds like a road trip movie where you just make a whole bunch of friends and you form this motley crew, and then you show up at the girl's doorstep and you're like, I made a movie.
Yeah, this sounds like the whole thing took place in a bathhouse, Katherine.
I would love to gather hobos as I go along. So it's like a Forrest Gump kind of thing where I have this group of mentally ill hobos following me on their own tricycles. That'd be amazing.
I don't think that's out of the question either.
That would make the news.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, they need a leader. They're a disorganized union.
A rebel.
Step in, Matt. Step in.
Matt,
Future
are you
leader.
gonna decorate the tricycle really weirdly and are you gonna paint it weird colors? And
Well,
stuff?
it's
But
it's already red. It's red and rusty, and it's got this big, huge, massive, really corny basket on the back. So I figured I would put a couple of flags on the back, and just go from there. But I don't know. I mean, I would like to, if I can, to sort of avoid getting too much attention. I mean, I which sounds counterintuitive, but as silly as it sounds, I kind of just want to do it under the radar and just do daily vlogs because it's fucking embarrassing. But
so what?
I feel like I don't have a choice. I've made this movie. I'm proud of it, and it was such an ordeal to finish. I just feel like I need to do something so that when I'm in my 80s, God forbid, or God. Hopefully I'll get to that age. I'll be able to not look back and say, well, shit, I really should have made an effort to promote my movie. And here I am yelling at pigeons and angry. So I just
What about loading up the tricycle with DVDs of Camp Death 3 and just kind of selling them on the way?
Hey,
That could help you pay for your
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, again, the thing is, though, the reality is that we're going to have to traverse through about 95% of people who we come across who are just going to hate the movie and just hate us for making it, right? We're looking for that 5% of people who this will appeal to. So I don't quite know. I mean, we've only sold a couple of DVDs, on Amazon anyways. So I don't think
you know what it is? It's the shipping. It's not the cost of the DVD. The shipping is like 3 times what the DVD's worth.
Well, it's like $9 or $10 per DVD, but the thing is, it takes forever. I mean, I ordered one; they still haven't delivered it yet, so it's not the fastest. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the deal. It's going to be about 37 to 38 days. I'm going to stop off at Mount Rushmore. I'm going to be stopping off at Little Bighorn or wherever that was, the Custer's Last Stand, and there's a bunch of things that I'm going to stop off on and do a little bit of a vlog, and it's just going to be a sort of a documentary about this desperate middle-aged bipolar filmmaker who's trying his best to try to promote his movie by doing this desperate thing. So, but
how are you training for it? Obviously, you got to train for this sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
You just go into it cold.
I'm doing 55 to 60 kilometers a night. I bought an exercise bike, so I'm doing 2.5 hours per night on that. So I've been doing that for about 2 months now. So
That's crazy.
by the time that I go, I'll be up to, because I'll be doing between 60 and 80 miles per day. So I have a ways to go in regards to get to that point, but I'm good now for about 2 to 3 hours per day of heavy cycling. So.
Well, we've been doing our own training in anticipation for it. So we've been looking at a lot of news sites. We've been doing a lot of listening to see if we might be able to hear something about it when it happens. I put in about 3 hours of internet use just last night between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m.
That's impressive.
Oh my god.
You must be tired.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
I
Your
appreciate
eyes
the
would be so
commitment.
tired.
And then I left and I had to come right back and delete my browser cache.
Well, that happens. Everybody has to do that if they've been on the internet. For
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, when your wife comes in, she's like, there's a lot of spider monkey searches on here. So I do want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. I want to thank you for coming on, Katherine. I want to thank you for coming on, Matt, because I feel like Matt's my brother from another mother. Like, we have talked so much, Matt. I miss these times.
Hey, listen, Ash, you haven't asked Katherine. That's Verda, man. You got to ask her something before we leave. Ask her some sort of.
Oh, I have more than one question. First of all,
oh my God, because
I looked on
she's one of the highlights
IMDb.
of the movie.
And okay, so I don't know how often the IMDb has been updated for you, but it says that you had an upcoming feature film, Exuvia. Has that happened?
No, it hasn't. It actually is going to be probably coming out in November this year. I just met with the director like 2 days ago, and he's sort of wrapping up some of the post. We just finished all of our ADR, so that's going to be coming out, end of November. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I love the poster, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I had nothing to do with it. But,
Hey, Ash,
okay.
ask Katherine about the lack of towels on set.
Oh, no. Matt has such a guilty conscience about this.
Well, the thing is, I didn't believe you when you said that, and then of course I did a blooper reel, and so I went back and looked at all the footage, and lo and behold, it's true. You're asking me on camera, do you have any towels? I'm like, no, I didn't bring any. And you've got coconut, or not coconut. You got chocolate all over your face, up your nose, in your ears.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's on record. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. So I'm sorry, that was my bad.
Because I was going to say, this will be the second
man.
time today I've asked somebody, what about not having enough towels, Katherine?
So, I won't go too long on it because I think you guys are trying to wrap up. But basically, the last scene, like my death scene, is where I get covered in chocolate and then die from my neck brace falling off. But so the whole scene of it, we kept getting covered in more and more chocolate, and I had fudge all over my face, and there was there was pudding in my hair, and it was just I was everywhere. I was covered in chocolate, and it was sticky and sweet. And so we finished shooting, and I'm covered in chocolate, and I asked Matt if we have any more towels, and any towels at all, and he's like, we don't have any. And so basically, I think I tried to wipe myself on a tree and use the grass around me, and but that was kind of the beginning of the night, because what followed was this kind of epic quest of getting home in the back of a van that didn't have seats, that was full of stuff, and we had too many people, and then we got stopped by the police, and there was people that had to get out of the car, and so that whole evening happened with me just sticky and covered in chocolate, and I've never been so excited to take a shower in my life.
This sounds like an Insane Clown Posse concert.
Oh my God! So picture this, Ash. So we're done. Katherine's. We have a van. It's the van in the movie, that old rickety black van. That's our production van. So we got myself and a couple other guys in the front, and Katherine and Leone, who are the other actor in the scene, in the back. And so it's just covered. The back is filled with mannequin legs and all this sort of weird shit. And these two. Yeah, and these two actors sitting on their knees, and so we go through a roadblock. I guess it's a standard, a drinking and driving roadblock. And there's this guy, and he's like, "Oh, hi, have you been drinking?" I'm like, "No, we're coming back from a film shoot." And he says, "Where's your insurance?" And I couldn't find the insurance. It's not my van. So then there was some noise made from the back of the van where Katherine is, and he's like, what's that? I'm like, "Oh, we have some people back there." And he's like, What are you talking about? I'm like, "Yeah, I have some actors back there."
Yeah.
So he said, "Can you please get out of the van, sir?" I'm like, "Sure, okay." I get out of the van. We kind of walk around the side because he wants me to open the side door. He doesn't want to do it himself. And so I'm trying to ream open the door because it's rusty and old. And so I finally get the thing to open up. And there's Katherine sitting on her knees amongst mannequin legs and chairs and all sorts of weird props. And she's covered in chocolate, and she's got the neck brace on. And she looks up and she's like, "Hi." And the guy, he couldn't process it. He could not process what he was seeing. He took a step back and was like, whoa.
I need backup.
Whoa. I guess he thought we were out shooting some sort of strange, I don't know, fetish porn? I don't know what he thought.
Mannequins.
Well, yeah, I ended up getting...
You guys were one German accent away from getting arrested, you know that, right?
So I ended up getting a massive fine. It was $600 or $800 fine for having no seats in the back. I went to court, and I explained to the judge this whole thing about, we were making a movie, and a girl with a neck brace with the pudding, and she was in the back and on her knees, and she was totally perplexed by this whole story because it was totally insane. And she had a neck brace in the back and blah blah blah, and so she was I guess she was just relieved by my honesty, so she gave me like a massive discount off the fine. It was like, yeah, I was down to $100 was the final fine, but that's the story in a nutshell.
It's great how judges do that. They just always do that.
Yeah, the moral of the story is honesty is the best policy, because you could not make that up. I guess she's probably heard every excuse under the trees or under the sun or whatever you want to call it. Wow. And so that is one that you cannot make up. You can't make up a story about a person being in the back of a shitty old Molesto van with mannequin legs and everything else covered in chocolate.
The Chevy Molesto.
Yeah, the make was a '76 Molesto.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can tell by the tiny mustache on it. Nice thin little mustache on the front of that Molesto. Well, again, I do want to thank you guys. We are going to wrap it up tonight. We've had so much content that I feel as though we're just going to slow it down and release it as a 2-hour episode.
Nice.
Good idea.
If you speed it up, you can get it into 45 minutes.
Yeah. Good point, Darren. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Katherine. How you doing?
Good. Your movie was so great.
Oh, thank you for going. You rock. You're the best. I'm going to your movie in November, just so you know.
Oh, I'm excited. I hope there's a screening in Vancouver. Sorry, we're just taking over your phone call.
I love that we also have. There was a moment where it sounded like Katherine was actually the sounds of the men working on the chain gang.
Right.
It's such a lush, imaginative tapestry that was working behind the scenes there.
Funny.
I've also
funny
managed to compile a whole dinner. Sorry, so what was that, Darren?
I'm kind of getting an appetite. I'm hearing you're cooking in the kitchen, and I'm kind of, I'm hearing the pans go, and I'm hearing the spatulas, and I'm going, wow, man, I'm hungry.
And the wine is on the way.
Yeah, has the wine got there yet, Katherine?
Right.
Oh no, I would have said goodbye.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Because you want to be rude.
I would have been like, no, I mean, I've already been quite rude, so yeah.
The shame.
Again, hey, I want to thank everybody so much. Thank you so much, Darren. Thank you so much, Katherine. Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you so much, Gerald, everyone who's been here. And I also implore our listening audience, you might not get the DVD till Christmas, but that's what makes it such a fantastic gift.
Hence the Santa Claus suit.
It's the Santa Claus suit. So you can take this journey with us. Order the DVD, go onto Amazon, and definitely look out for maybe possibility of you getting jailed here in the States, Matt.
I hope not.
Again, definitely watch out for the rednecks. Okay? Usually, if you see, it's not the ring finger or the middle finger, but it's that finger right before you to the pinky finger. If you see a guy with a plaid shirt, half buttoned, and he's sort of circling his navel with that finger, that's the guy to watch out for.
You see, that was my inspiration. That was my inspiration.
Equally as practical advice, bring sunscreen and a hat, please.
Oh God,
yeah.
And don't drive at night. You're not going to drive at night, are you? During
No. It's all during the day.
Oh, okay, that's
good.
And don't wear a red hat.
No red hats.
No way.
Right, and definitely not Cooper Sans font. There's a font you don't want to wear for that, just to let you know. Is
that the font for Make America Great Again? Is Cooper Sans font?
Well, I think it's actually so it's got serifs on it, so it's not a sans. I think it's just Cooper Bold.
Right.
Yeah. Which very sad that I know all of that.
Yes, it is.
Who knows that he could make a font famous?
Or infamous in this case. Again, thanks everyone so much for coming on. Thanks again, Matt, for helping to put this together. We had a blast tonight. We had such a great time. We really did.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ash. Appreciate it, man. It was just a lot of fun.
Me on.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.